sorry you came tonight.
I didn't say that.
Good. Because I'm delighted that you did.
Hello and good evening. Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 18, Allegiance, first aired back in 1990, but here in 2026 on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version wherever you get your audio podcasts, our mission to rewatch every episode of TNG continues. One abduction, one impostor captain, and one increasingly suspicious senior staff meeting at a time. And now, here's your captain, the guy who bursts into an old drinking songs at the slightest excuse. If you ever stop, call security, because that's not the real Dave. I'm your host, Dave Mater. And let's break it down with tonight's panel. Sitting here with me in the studio, he's the newest voice in the room and an aspiring radio host, sharpening his craft at Mohawk College. Coming into Allegiance completely fresh, and he's bringing the perspective every rewatch needs, the honest reactions, the unfiltered questions, and the, wait, why is Picard suddenly acting like that energy that keeps us all on our toes? Whether it's alien psychology, imposter captains, or the ethics of abduction, he's diving into the final frontier one episode at a time. It's my son, Eamon Mater.
Hey, how's it going? I'm glad to be here today. Glad to talk about this episode. I thought that was a really good episode. It's very funny. My generation, I watched this episode and I just thought, oh, this is just Among Us. Like, that's very much my generation's type thing. But it's very much like an interesting episode. It's about deception and infighting and kind of
and the mystery and how people I guess react to authority is another part of the experiment. But let's talk to the rest of our panelists here. Eamon, coming in next, our technologist and cynic in chief, the first to question the alien tech, the chamber's design, and where the Enterprise crew should have spotted the imposter a whole lot sooner. It's Jody Simpson.
Hey Dave, Eamon, Jeff,
Jody.
All the Maters are.
Yeah, you're like the only one on the panel without the last name Mater tonight. So.
I'm a little. What's the word? I guess I'm.
You're like the angry guy in the prison room coming in. Who are all these people?
Achalna. Yeah. We have no use for laws.
All I know is those clear hockey pucks are terrible.
The red hockey pucks. But Jody, you did win a curling family bonspiel this one, so you're kind of an honorary Mater, really.
This is true.
He's been assimilated. He's been assimilated into the family.
And
no one can resist the Materhood.
Also coming in here with his hot takes, my brother and Eamon's uncle tuned into the ethical calculus, the morality of the alien study, and the crew's obligation to question authority, and the philosophical implications of identity and trust. It's Jeff Mater.
Hey, got a bone to pick. In the intro, where's my name? I've been on the show before.
You're there.
Was it there? Okay? I wanted an addendum. Can I be Jeffrey Tubes on the intro?
Well, next season I might make a new one, and then we'll put you on there. But
Chris gets to be World Mind.
Well, he gave that a special request. I didn't know you were.
No, I didn't.
You were going by
just for the record, I'm not the chief cynic. I am the chancellor. Thank you.
The chancellor of the academy of
goal cynic.
Maybe in the
chancellor
31st century.
of cynicism.
Or the 32nd century. But here in the 24th century is what we're talking about tonight. Yes, we're talking about Allegiance. This is the, I think, 66th episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
16th episode, I believe.
The 18th episode of the season.
Yeah.
But it aired back on March 26, 1990, written by Richard Manning and Hans Beimler, who both went on to work on not Babylon 5, Deep Space Nine, and directed by Winrick Colby. This episode features Captain Picard finding himself abducted from the Enterprise and held in a chamber with other prisoners, while a doppelganger replacing him behaves strangely and gives increasingly disturbing orders. Jeff, how was this one for you?
Okay, this is kind of like my quick take on this episode. I think this episode is an amazing premise, like with the whole something's wrong with the captain, but do we have the balls to actually
declare mutiny?
Yeah, declare mutiny, or relieve him of duty based off literally no evidence whatsoever, just hunches and feelings. And even that, they have Deanna Troi, who's the queen of hunches and feelings, and she even said there was nothing wrong other than he's acting weird.
Mm-hmm.
But the execution of the episode toward the end kind of is lackluster. To me, this episode should be a little longer. If they had a little bit more time to flesh out.
It was only 40 minutes, right? Couldn't they have gone?
They're all 45 minutes, guys. They had to have commercials back in the day. It's not like now where they, an episode could be like an hour and 8 minutes, or this hour's, something else. You had to stick to the format.
I didn't need 15 minutes of Picard macking on Crusher. I just didn't need that in the episode.
Wasn't that the best part?
No.
That was like the clip I played at the top because he's just like, she's like, "Are you sure you came tonight?" She's like, "I did say that." Well, I'm glad you did.
It was just overkill for me.
Definitely felt like it could have been like 5 minutes shorter.
You feel like this episode was too long?
No, specifically that sequence.
The sequence in the quarters?
Yeah.
Well, this is still in the era where I guess they're this on again, off again relationship with Crusher and Picard.
Okay, so I've watched episodes of TNG before, but it's been a while, and I haven't been watching through with you guys. Is this a thing that they had, Picard and Crusher?
Yeah, more or less. It's kind of been written right into the show's DNA from the beginning, like that they have, because Wesley Crusher's father, Jack Crusher, was Captain Picard's first officer on the Stargazer, and his best friend. And it's kind of awkward to go after your best friend's widow, ain't it?
How did he die?
Like, if I go, are you going after Jane? Any of you? You shouldn't. It's not right. So I'm putting it out there now, but
how did he die?
He got killed in the line of duty. He got killed, on a mission Picard was leading.
And a woman has needs, though. I mean,
a woman does have needs, but
true.
She more objects to the fact that he's her commanding officer. But anyway,
guys, Data's fully functional. It's fine.
Right, and they're not in the direct chain of command with each other, so that would work better. So anyway, there's the stuff with Crusher, but that's not really Picard. That's someone pretending to be Picard. I think that the more interesting story for me is the prison cell laboratory experiment.
Very much so.
And the three aliens we get in that, in particular the Miserian and the Chalna guy, Isak,
who we've never seen before and we'll never see again. But
no, it's kind of Jody. You've been quiet.
To get back to that, what Dave said earlier about how 45-minute episodes and stuff like that. Mike in the chat actually said something pretty good. If it aired today, it would be 2 separate episodes. We would have gotten the Captain is Being Weird episode, and the next episode would then be Rats in a Lab episode.
Right? Like they wouldn't even explain to us that this isn't Picard.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Which would have been way better.
And we've kind of for me
between those two.
That's
things?
true. That could have been, very.
I think the first one would have been better.
Yeah.
There's an episode in season 1 that we covered already, "Lonely Among Us," I think is what it's called, and that's another one where Picard basically gets possessed by this alien electricity thing that then merges with him, and
then later this season, Picard's going to become a Borg. So
right, but I guess my point is they've already kind of been through the Captain's acting weird. We might have to mutiny on him. Sort of plot line has already played out once in season 1. this is the second time. When do you come against Captain? Sam has a theory that Picard is Wesley's real dad. Well, if you were going to cover that up, I guess the chief medical officer would be able to hide the DNA results with more convincing.
If anybody could do it, it would be her.
And you would do regular checkups just to make sure there was no suspicion.
Of course, even a month before your physical.
Physicals, yes.
I think that this episode is a nice mystery. It's a fun one. It's 45 minutes. It's you're in and out, you're out, and I have no real complaints other than we've kind of already done the mutiny episode, but this one's a little different than that first season because that really was Picard who was kind of merged with this other consciousness and everything else. And this is
I remember this episode being like just a standard, nothing special episode. It's not bad. I think is it better than some of the ones we've just had recently? No.
It could have been awesome though. Like had you done
especially if we got rid of the whole, him trying to hook up with
my biggest complaint with this episode is that I don't understand what fake Picard's goal was in flying towards that star cluster. What was his purpose?
He just wanted to see how far he could push that crew before they wouldn't do it anymore, I think. Is what I think that they were just they're like, he's like, what do we know about that pulsar? And Data's like, everything. Like, we know everything. Like, there's no reason to go see it. And they're like, we can be there at warp 7 in 37 minutes. Okay, good. Let's go at warp 2, which will take us
over a day.
For a day to get there. Mike Elmore saying, I agree that the lab part was the best part of this episode. I like that stuff. I think that the other stuff is more fun in terms of an audience member because I think Patrick Stewart's having a blast playing this slightly different.
Anytime they give him more than one character, he's happy.
Oh yeah, he's like, I get to sing old
He's got
British
a really good singing voice too.
stage songs.
He was a stage performer before any of this. So.
Right. We got all that in there. We got Picard trying to be, I guess like it's allowing Patrick Stewart to kind of flex his acting muscles because he gets to play a different version of Picard.
I think this is on purpose though, because even at this point, people weren't really like. I remember there being a lot of buzz around Patrick Stewart not being a good captain. Like this wasn't a good character. And I think with season 3, I think they're really trying to expand and do more storylines with him directly. Whereas, usually it's like a crew thing or, some sort of issue that happens, but nothing that focuses directly. I think this is one of those episodes that's supposed to kind of, help you understand him a little bit more as well. This is what he could be if he let loose. That kind of thing.
Which we kind of know he like, at least by the time he gets to the Enterprise E, like he'll at least be going to poker games.
Oh yeah. And that's his progression through the whole,
he'll be straight up dating Beverly, then having a kid with her, not knowing, and then her, hiding that from him. And that's a whole other thing.
I think his character progresses much better than a lot of the characters on this show. I think just over time, we get more and more of Jean-Luc, whereas, yes, we do get, everybody does, migrate their story a bit, but like Troy, how far are we to know Troy from season 1?
I'd say we 7? I would argue Troy has more of an arc than Jody does.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. Yeah, Jordy's probably the boringest of all of them.
I think you have to consider the fact that this show's kind of unique in the fact that Riker is kind of the co-captain of the crew, and he's the one character that seems to be he's kind of like the bench boss of the crew, whereas the captain gets to go and kind of hide away. He's more solitary, and so he is that more Kirk-esque person, and Picard is more the Spock-esque kind of person in that way, where
personality wise,
yes. And
but if you think about season 7 Picard versus season 2 Picard, big difference, massive.
Oh yes. I just mean how they were writing
some of the other ones, not so much.
Yeah, how they're writing them at the beginning of the show is, I think they're purposely trying to make sure Picard is not too eccentric. And the only way they can really give him that is when it's actually not him. And that's what this episode is. It's like, let's write Picard, but it's not actually Picard, and let him sing and stuff, and let him do stuff, and that's kind of
let him sing. Let the man sing, and let him have an ale for Christ's sake, and let him get laid sometime.
It almost makes me wonder.
I hear a serious question too about that. if they have replicators in this universe and they could just create food and drink all they want, what is the significance of?
There's
of
none,
Picard
Eamon, because
ordering a
they,
random-
not only that they don't use money. So him
Yeah.
buying ales for everyone is
It
not.
doesn't do anything.
It's not necessarily.
Yeah.
All he did was order for them. That's
Yeah.
it. He didn't
He
pay
forced
for
them
pay
to
for
drink.
anything.
He's like, I don't care if you like ale or not. You're drinking it. I'm the captain.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
the
go.
captain, and I'm
Or I'm
now
an
making you
alien
drink all these
Pretending
drinks.
to be a captain.
We did this back at school.
Yeah, but
We
I
all
think,
drank and sang songs.
but I think back to Jeff's point is, I think in a way maybe that was on purpose to make Riker eventually the captain, and maybe they didn't realize that the Picard character was going to be, the end all be all.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know.
also
I'm just speculating, but
Patrick Stewart has talked about how much he hated, like the first 2 seasons, especially filming
yeah.
the show. He thought he was going to leave. So
yeah,
the writers
he
know
didn't even
that.
unpack. Apparently,
The
He was-
uniform was part of that too. That it was so bad on his back in the first 2 seasons.
Season 3, I
the
think, brought a lot of
season 1
changes.
uniform looks really bad.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was not
Yeah,
comfortable for
yeah.
them, and apparently it smelled. There's all kinds of things you can get into with that, but like I was just saying to Eamon before the show, like season 3 of TNG is when this really feels like peak TNG. Is this as good as like Best of Both Worlds? Yeah, no, but like this is a solid episode. Like,
but is it bad? No.
like comparing to some of the other shows we went through, like
I would call it good. Nothing more or less.
like
Wait a second. You would take an episode from season 3 TNG over like a random episode from season 5 or 6? Is that what you're saying? Like, how is it peak
No.
TNG?
Well, what I mean more is that like they've already hit the peak, and they're just gonna keep rolling on that train. I don't think it gets better once we get to season 4 and 5. I think it's like pretty much like they get up to this level here towards the end of season 3, and then they never really get off of it. Like they never it's like a consistent run.
But with this
versus-
rewatch, the one thing I will say though is that season 2 had a lot more good episodes than I remember.
It did, and I think it was really interesting that years ago we did Deep Space Nine. We went through every episode of Deep Space Nine. We watched it, and I remember loving that show and thinking it was so much better than I think it was in some ways, right? Because it like some of the best episodes of Star Trek are Deep Space Nine episodes, hands down. But
I would agree, yeah.
but as like a 7-season show, I think that TNG is superior, even if you
I
count
agree,
their
100%.
2 weaker seasons in the beginning. Like that, I think like I would rather watch. You say you can watch a random episode of TNG for the rest of your life, or a random episode of Deep Space Nine for the rest of your life. I think
I'd
I'm
take
taking
TNG.
TNG.
Well,
you
that's
know?
like, okay, but that's like saying I'd rather watch an episode of Seinfeld than an episode of Breaking Bad. Do you know what I mean?
One's
Like,
story based, and the other one is just
Mhm.
it's a bottle episode every episode, right?
Well, like one's serialized and one's episodic. I think that's like the biggest difference between them, right?
And DS9 was episodic, even though
It
You
has
could-
a
you could
overarching
skip it.
plot line.
even Voyager, which is more comparable to TNG because they're both episodic shows, and like
Yeah.
and they try to keep that same formula from episode to episode. Like I still think TNG has I think the cast is one of the bigger levels. I think it's like lightning in a bottle. They had like all these amazing writers very young at this time in their
it was
careers
good timing for sure.
who all went on to be like huge science fiction writers, right? From the and this is where they all like Michael Piller, you got Ira Stephen Bear, you got Ronald D. Moore, you got I don't think Brandon Braga's here yet, but like you have
Not
Hans
yet.
Beimler, and you got
He is
Richard
coming.
Manning, and all these guys went on to be big science fiction writers in their own right,
Yeah.
and showrunners of different things like Earth Final Conflict, I think, for Richard Manning. So anyway,
Got a very interesting question from Sam here that's asking about the comparison between the DS9.
oh sure,
Right,
I can tell you that. Okay, so I
Well,
I love my spreadsheets.
DS9 season 3 is when it also kind of starts to get going.
True.
You know?
But like, I think what the difference was on DS9 was like when we got into season 7 of DS9, and we're like, this
It,
episode,
it just
that
felt
is-
like a drag.
That is not fair.
it's completely fair.
It's not that show is not the same show in season 7.
But
like,
like we're
it'd be like if they killed Troy, or they killed Data, and then they're like, okay, we're coming back for season 7 of TNG.
They nearly
It's
killed
like,
Picard at the end of season 3 of this show, right? Like
Right.
they were going to kill him with the whole
The
Borg,
Borg
the whole
thing?
Borg story, and then Riker was going to take over because there was all these contract disputes, and ultimately, they're like Patrick Stewart's like, no, I'll take less money and I'll stay, and and they kept him,
But
but
it ended up pretty well too, all things considered.
but okay, our average for season 3 of Deep Space Nine was 7.5, and to date, our average of TNG sits at an 8.2
So
for season
TNG
3.
is significantly higher.
At least compared to the people who are voting at the moment, know,
Right.
and who have voted on these episodes up until episode 18, and we'll see how it will all shake out after tonight.
I can probably influence that if I filled it.
Yeah,
in.
Jody's like, all right, let me help bring that.
Give me a
down."
minute.
Yeah, bell curve that for a minute.
I'll screw that one up pretty hard for you.
We got Mike saying here, Star Trek, Clone Wars, Captain Picard versus Alien. Put some spaces in, Mike.
Yeah,
next
we're
time.
gonna need spaces, not cut and
I do
paste,
not even understand what
spreadsheets.
he's saying. Yeah.
he's comparing.
I think he's just
doctors.
comparing characters. That's all.
Wow.
Right.
I think it was literally a spreadsheet that he copied in.
Well, can we run through the plot of the episode and everything?
Well, we might
we
as well.
saw?
That's kind of why we're
So this episode, it starts with
well,
Picard lounging.
yes, it does, Eamon. We're at this planet, and
He's addressing the outcome of this virus thing, which will come up later.
yeah, like basically they're saying like we're meant to meet up with the USS Hood, which is Riker's old ship. We're gonna meet up with them and do some kind of medical supply, something or other. They're like it's kind of immaterial, but like the Enterprise has kind of got a mission and they're meant to be somewhere in a few hours. And Picard's there reading a book, a real book, even in the 24th century, not like
not like an ebook.
not an ebook, mind you. And he's like drinking a glass of what looks to be brandy, I would say. He's a Renaissance man, how drunk he is, unclear. So he's chilling out, but then all of a sudden he gets tired. He's like, okay, I'm gonna sleep here on my lazy boy. And then we see like this 3D construct thing.
The effects in this episode did not look great.
I don't think this aged well. This like little block thing above him that like is meant to scan and transport him, but it's 1990. Eamon. Like,
that's fair.
Right? Your uncle was only a year old, and now he's much older.
How do you think he feels hearing about that?
I don't know.
All these people are still alive, so it's doing okay.
Yeah, true. Anyway, so Picard gets taken away here. He dematerializes on the bridge. Data detects something in Captain Picard's quarters. They try to call down. There's no answer. They send Worf after him. And meanwhile, we see that the Captain Picard, the real Captain Picard, has woken up here in like this
place with two people.
He's like in this room he doesn't recognize. He's on a bed. We see that there's a Starfleet cadet, although we don't even know she's a cadet yet because we've never seen the cadet.
We just see the Starfleet uniform.
We've never seen a cadet uniform before, and like this new version of the uniform she wears in this episode is kind of different. But
it looks weird. It doesn't have like the collar.
She is one of the characters that are going to make me drop my points for this episode.
Oh boy! All right, and then so she's sleeping here with her hands crossed. She's the first Bolian character, by the way, too. Even though she's not really who she says she is, but the first time we get a Bolian here, and then there's this other guy, the Miserian. What's his name? Harrow, I think. No,
it's
Thal.
like
Kovathal, right?
Thal
Yeah.
or
So
something,
so Thal is there, but they're both like she's sleeping. He's like not responding. So Picard his communicator's not working. Then Worf is on his way. He's up to business. No one's answering the doorbell. He's about to do a security override, but then all of a sudden the door's open and it's Picard.
He's there.
He's there with a book and a glass of brandy all of a sudden, and they didn't even let him take that to the prison cell. So that wasn't very nice. Bolians are bald and Dorians. Not quite, but they're both blue. So Bolians have like that ridge going down the side of like the middle of their face, and Bolians have that
like, sucker-looking things.
I get the impression too that Boleus is a hot planet, and we know Andoria is a cold planet. So anyway, Worf is like, I came down here for this. So
he's fine.
Can I help you, Lieutenant? And that is our teaser for the episode. And we head into the credits. And I
had not watched these credits in a while. Like I said, this is my first episode of TNG in a while. I forgot how good this intro really is.
Jerry Goldsmith, baby.
Yeah.
Great score. From Star Trek Motion Picture.
The original motion picture, yeah.
Yeah, it's better music than it was a movie, so I'm glad it got reused here.
Yes.
Oh, was it from the original Star Trek?
So the first Star Trek movie, which is not a good movie,
I hear
but
ya.
like
Igor!
what became the Next Generation theme song is from that score.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway, so then
That movie had to exist for us to get the greatness that is this.
exactly.
And for Star Trek 2, but
And Goldsmith, he was coming off like Logan's Run and some other movies he had done in the 70s, right?
Yeah,
So,
he did some scores from some good sci-fi.
okay.
anyway, so we got the title card after the credits, Allegiance here, Picard moving around, but
Okay, I need to talk about this, but I guess you're trying to take her pulse like this?
Yeah.
Who takes someone's pulse like this? It looks like he's gonna strangle her.
It
Well,
does
maybe
seem
on a
like that.
bullion you have to do it that way.
maybe.
Hey.
Part of Starfleet Academy. They
Anyway,
just
she
use
acts,
I get trained
reacts
on this.
appropriately.
She acts appropriately here. She freaks out and that who are you? And we find out that she's a first year cadet. Her name is Matena Haro. It's played by Jocelyn O'Brien. The first
relation.
bullying. No relation to Miles. A fictional character, whereas O'Brien's her real last name. So she's a first year cadet, whatever. Why are you here? Like, then we get to meet the Miserian guy, Haro. He's an interesting guy. A
That makeup
pacifist.
is top notch.
Yeah, I was about to say, seeing this character reminded me how good the makeup was during like TNG and DS9.
Very
Yeah. It's kind of like it's almost like
Yeah.
a proto Cardassian design. The head wrap's an interesting
It reminds
choice.
me of what's his name from DS9, the guy who ran the shop.
Quark?
No, it was the
Garrick.
the Romulan. Yeah,
Garrick. Yeah, well, he was a Cardassian,
Yeah.
I think, to that point. And he's a very like squeamish, cowardly man. Apparently, his whole race, a race of cowards.
They they don't fight anything, but like
Yes,
They're very smart.
They're very smart. They're known for their intellect and not resisting.
fighting people. Yeah.
Not resisting. Their planet had been conquered 6 times in 300 years or something. So, they turn around. Anyway, and so there's a 4th bunk. They think that there might be someone else coming. Picard then, is looking around the room. He finds out about the food, which is like this red Jello stuff.
It looks like a urinal cake.
It looks like a red urinal cake. Yes. He says, I wouldn't call it food. But
It's edible, but I wouldn't call it food. Yeah. And then Picard takes like this tiny little bite of it, and it's just like,
he's like,
It
that's
looks,
not
it looks like soap.
yeah.
yeah.
So, a fun little mini fact, Dave. There is a tie-in to this show to Enterprise.
Did they have red cube, like red disc food or whatever?
No, the girl that plays the Starfleet girl, O'Brien, she was on 2 episodes of Quantum Leap. Bam! There you go.
But was she also on Babylon 5? I bet she was.
She was not.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so Picard then he starts
It was
looking
in the
for a way
movie
out.
Mambo Kings, though. That was pretty good.
Mambo Kings.
Anyway.
Picard starts trying to mess around with the panel on the wall that seems to control the door.
But the guy says, "Don't
Don't do it." He tried because we find out the Miserian guy, he was the first to arrive before the other 2, and that he tried to use the panel, and then he was punished by some ray of beam, like a beam of pain, like a pain stick of sorts. And so you tell him, Picard, don't mess with the door. Let's just hope that we all get out of this alive, and let's not be too.
Let's just be benevolent. Let's just not do anything.
Hopefully everything will blow over, and it will be fine. So then we head back to the Enterprise and fake Picard, who shows up here on the bridge. He asks Data, he's like, what about that pulsar that's near us? And he goes, yeah, how much do we know about it? A lot. Oh, okay. And how long would it take us to get there? Warp 7, like 30 minutes. Okay. Mr. Crusher, set a course warp 2, which will take like 18 hours.
Like 30 hours.
Yeah, like a day and a half.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that's a weird thing. And then they said, well, we should tell the Hood we're going to be late for our meeting, right? The USS Hood. And they go, nope, don't tell them. Don't tell the Hood we're not coming, which is unusual. Then Picard asked to talk to Riker in the ready room. Right, and he's like, which is an interesting thing. Worf's beside himself.
You know who really sucks in this episode? Data.
Yeah.
Data just like
Barely
stares
in
at
this
people and he
episode.
just kind of go like that's the look on his face the whole episode. He doesn't even question anything. He never
No.
says a word to anybody about anything. Everyone else is kind of like, this is weird. He's like, whatever. I'm just
Again, he's
I'm
like
just-
barely in this episode.
Yeah, he's
I'm-
he's very passive in this episode. Jordy has more agency in this
Yeah.
episode than Data does.
right. Like we're like, it's a day off. Don't worry, you got no lines. Just show up.
That's a pretty
the big-
normal thing for this show, though.
I know it is. I know.
Like it's,
I feel
there's
like
always one main cast member that barely has anything. It's usually Beverly, but
He's supposed to
sometimes
be
you get-
third in command. Is all. It's like
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah,
issue.
it doesn't always feel like that for sure.
Mm.
Anyway, so in the ready room, Picard's like, I don't like keeping you in the dark, number one, but this time I have to.
but I'm
and
gonna.
I'm gonna give some weird orders, so just be on alert, but I can count on you and the crew, right? He's like, yeah, all good, man.
And he
Okay.
drinks the coffee, I guess.
Tea Earl Grey hot, Eamon. Learn, you gotta learn. We gotta teach
Oh,
this kid,
jeez.
So
What a rookie error.
what a rookie error. That's Picard's drink.
Yeah.
Earl Grey tea, which is an English drink, despite him being.
Despite him being a Frenchman.
Yeah, he's a French.
I've
the-
always wondered why they made him a Frenchman because he does not sound French.
Well, they figure Americans can't tell the difference. So, and
They could have just made him English though. They didn't
Yeah.
need to make him French.
they could have made him. Yeah, they could have given him an English last name or said he's
Yeah.
from England all the time or whatever. But nope, they didn't. But then we in Star Trek Picard, they established like his family fled France in World War II or something, and
So
then
he's like not really.
he's kind of British French.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
Wait, isn't he in like they own a vineyard in France?
They do. They got roots in both countries. I don't know what to tell you. And then so we come back to the laboratory, the prison cell here. They're trying
It's
to
never explained what this is. If this is even like a real place or where this is.
where they are. No, we never find out where they are, how far away they were from their planet, their ship, or any of that. But Picard and the cadet are trying to break into the door.
He's trying to.
Mr. Miserian keeps telling, "Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. You're going to get us in trouble." And I think Picard is also trying to tap out prime numbers.
Yeah, that's
to
what she was saying.
infer.
So intelligent.
We understand numbers and arithmetic, and the Miserian guy's like, they can hear us talking, but he's like, yeah, but maybe they don't know written language or spoken language, or whatever. Anyway, so then Picard, he gives up on the door for a minute. He starts questioning the cadet, like, why are you here? What's your specialty? What's special about you?
He's trying to figure out the connection between.
What's the connection between you and I and this other guy, right? And she said she's really good with warp coils or something, and but not good enough. Like she's not as good as a chief engineer. It made more sense to abduct Jody if you wanted an engineer or somebody like that, right? And also her people, the Bolians, have some kind of beef with another species or something, but they, she doesn't think that that's why they would be kidnapped either. So Picard's just run through theories. And this is where he's like, the Miserian guy's like, my people have no enemies. It's whatever, right? And Picard does push back on that. Where's that?
My race has no enemies.
None? The last 300 years of Miserian history, your planet has been conquered 6 times.
We've survived by not resisting. Miserians value peace above confrontation.
Peace above confrontation.
It just sounds like they're afraid to fight for their cause. Really, to me,
Right. Well, I think Picard has the same viewpoint.
Yeah.
Of the Miserians.
Sometimes.
But what we'll come to learn is that they all treat authority very differently, right?
that's kind of the whole point.
Miserians and the Chalna being the opposite of him, right?
I think this is the point where the Chalna.
And then this is where we'll get to meet Isak, the Chalna. I don't think we've had another Chalna since this guy. I always found him such an interesting character in this episode.
He looks like a boar.
He looks like a pig man, or something.
It looks like a Kazon.
He's like a proto Kazon. We see he immediately draws his weapon, and the aliens allow him to have this like big dagger sword here. But Picard is able to talk him down by saying, "We mean you no harm." And we find out that the Chalna are a species Picard is familiar with.
Yes.
Yeah, he visited their planet when he was captaining the Stargazer all those years ago. Call back to the Jet Crusher discussion we had earlier. And then he knows their planet. And we find out he's quite a reasonable Chalna, this man.
A pretty reasonable anarchist, honestly, all things considered.
Yeah, they almost remind me of the Klingons in some way. Like
I definitely got that feeling.
But
too.
they're a little like Klingons are more about structure and
yeah, Klingons aren't anarchists though.
Klingons are not anarchist. They are very much, they believe in hierarchy and all this other stuff, right? Whereas the Chalna, maybe a libertarian viewpoint, if you will, compared to whatever else. Because the Chalna, we find out, are a species with no laws, no hierarchy, no governments. It's kind of just like survival of the toughest and strongest, right?
I struggle to believe that such a society could exist with beings this intelligent, but
yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't always like that. Maybe they weren't always anarchists. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, then
back on the ship.
we got poker. We got the senior officer poker game. We got snacks. We got drinks, and so they're playing the poker here. It's Deanna, Data, Jody, Worf, and Riker, and here. But then Picard
Why does
shows
Data need the little visor? What is that? What is the? He's a robot. Like, what is he?
He wants the visor
for style. Why does Worf have the baldric? I guess is the. Why does Riker have a beard? Why does Troy tie her hair up in a bun? These are all questions that we can't answer. But Picard is here.
Yes.
And he says, "Hey, Geordi, I see that our engines are at 93% efficiency. I want 95."
He says, "You could do it later," but then Geordi says,
No, I'm going to go do it right now. Oh, yeah, of course, Captain. I'll do it. I'll get up to 95. So they invite Picard to join the poker game, but he decides weirdly instead, I'll observe the poker game. So they
like he's just going to hover there and it kind of seems like he does.
Don't kink shame Data. That's a good one. Anyway, so we got a hand here between Riker and Troy. Troy is able to beat Riker. It happens very quickly, and then Picard starts clapping and very good. That was amazing.
It's just very awkward. Like.
Like, this is the weirdest thing ever, right? So then Picard pulls Troy out. He's like, "I want to talk to you in private," right? He's like, "How are the crew doing? Are they scared, concerned?"
Is anybody talking about me?
Is anyone talking about me? Have you heard anything?
So I have to ask, does Troy have like empath powers? Because that's what I got from the dialogue.
Yeah, so she's a half betazoid.
Okay.
So her mother is from this planet of telepaths.
Okay.
And her father's a human. So
she's only half, so that means it only works when the plot requires it.
Yeah, and sometimes she can tell if somebody's an imposter, and sometimes she can't. This is one of the times she can't,
which makes sense.
Because this alien's technology.
Well, they explain, I guess, later on that they copied the exact memories of Picard.
Right, the alien technology is so good that they not only are they impersonating him, they know everything he knows. They can impersonate him to a much higher degree than just like looking like him, right?
They basically know what he knows.
They knows what he knows, but they're not him. They don't think like he, and they're interested in other things. But anyway, he's like, "You'll tell me if they say anything about me, if they, the crew coming, right?"
Says, yes,
she's like, "Of course." So it's similar to the conversation with Riker, but it's kind of a weird one, and she kind of is left, a little off by it. A little bit time later, we go back to the prison. Now we got all four guests here. Isak has now taken off his his weapon. He's now talking. He's like, "My people, my name is Isak. My planet, my name is fighter."
My given name is Isak. It means fighter.
Oh, but half the names in the Chalna language mean fighter.
My Zarians, your names all mean surrender.
We are a peaceful race.
They're French?
A race of thinkers.
Like the Germans and the French.
Actually, ironically, you should say that because Isak, the guy who plays Isak, actually is a German voice actor.
Oh, interesting.
There might be like some vocal modulation they're doing to him.
That growl.
Yeah, it's like
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
But he also does
He's definitely doing some of the voice. Yes,
He does voices, so it wouldn't shock.
I wonder if it's ADR'd, if they did it
Could've
after, because
it looks pretty good for ADR.
Because he's wearing all these crazy teeth and
Yeah,
makeup.
you're right.
and,
You might not be able to voice it
at the way. Anyway, so then he's talking about all of his like all the people he's killed and everything else, and the bullying cadet gets kind of squeamish about it. But then the Miserian guy's like, "Oh, I know all about you. You're a bunch of anarchists. Your society sucks. Not like us great Miserians who we don't put up fights. We don't mess around."
Kind of starts a bit of a conflict here.
Yeah.
The hoodie that he has is pretty impressive, though.
Picard's basically like, break it up, you two.
Break it up. Yeah, he's constantly having to mediate here. So then Isak checks out the food, the red disc stuff here, but apparently after
It's poison to him.
It's poison to him, and he is not having any of it. He doesn't.
He can't.
Was it actually poison?
thing-
I thought he just said it didn't taste good.
Yeah. So
he says, I can live for 3 days, maybe 4, but no more.
right. He's like, "Is this mean
And he
you
has
have
to eat
nothing?"
somebody.
And then the Miserian guy's like, "Does that mean you have nothing to eat?" He's like, "Oh no." And then
I got at least 3 meals here.
Picard's
The cannibalism is definitely highly insinuated.
Yes.
well, it's not cannibalism; they're different species. So
the vor, I guess.
but
Oh, fair.
but he's like, "Picard, you will let him eat me, will you? Please,
No.
Picard."
No, hold on. We still have plenty of time. We have to. Yes.
He's like, "How long can you live without food? 3 days, no longer." So their species.
Now we have a time limit.
That's a great screenshot.
That is a fantastic screenshot.
He's like, "Am I lunch?"
I can't tell whose expression is funnier between the two of them.
They look like Muppets. Like it's
They really
ridiculous.
do. Yes.
Well, it's a moment in time, but yes, it's definitely something here. Anyway, so Picard has more urgency here around all this. He needs to figure this out, and
They should have called that girl Blue Jean.
Yeah,
Because she's
like
got like the zipper down the front.
to date, I think she's one of the only bullying characters with hair as well.
Yeah, because they're usually bald, right?
They're usually bald, but
Well, maybe that's a mistake that she made, or that they made.
or maybe some bullians have hair and some don't.
Well,
but,
I think this was
what?
probably the first bullying we've ever seen. So
Is Deep Space Nine running yet?
no,
no,
it won't be running
so-
for another 3 years.
So yeah, that's what I thought. So like, what's
comes
up
in
with
on the
her?
6th season, I think.
Have we seen this uniform yet in
No,
TNG?
no.
Okay, so this is the first version of this uniform
Yes,
on
this is the first
on the
version.
Star Trek show.
It's pretty similar to the main Starfleet uniform, just without the collar.
But the collar's different, yeah, and obviously you got the color on top and the black on the bottom, but even this idea that cadets had division colors that they kind of
that doesn't really make sense.
they kind of retcon that back and forth, and depending on what outfit they're wearing, sometimes they're
Well,
all
that
red,
could also have been a mistake from the aliens as well.
maybe.
But
But Picard would know that. Picard would know if it's not the right uniform or whatever, So presumably he knows his Starfleet regulations. We head back to the Enterprise. Fake Picard. He's shown up to Beverly's sick bay for his physical, which Picard never wants to do. He volunteered
apparently she has to nag him about it.
just to establish he's completely healthy and completely normal, and there's nothing absolutely wrong with him.
She asks,
Because the whole point of this experiment will be to push how far they'll accept like his chain of command. Like how crazy can he get before they
say no.
They say no to him, right? And then Beverly's like, "Are you dying? Do you have some kind of disease?
Is something wrong?
Like, are there others?
Wouldn't she know? She's his doctor.
But he might be hiding symptoms that she's not picking up on, right? Like, so she's kind of
They got medical scanners.
Yeah. Well, the medical scanner doesn't pick anything out, but there's a
true.
chance there's something she can't detect. Anyway, he's like, "I'm fine. It's all good. I'm just messing with you."
Do you want to see me tonight?
And then he's like, "You want dinner tonight?" And first she thinks
in the lounge,
in a public place, but no, he says
in his quarters.
In his quarters, and then she's like, "Oh, well, maybe." He's
You're
like,
just
"That sounds."
full of surprises.
Aren't you full of surprises? And she's gonna be.
She's very happy about this.
I don't think she's sad about it, by any means. Anyway,
Do they have
then
prophylactics in
here.
the 23rd century?
maybe. We head back to real Picard in the prison cell. They're gonna try. They have to try to break out. He's like, "We have to try to escape." He's like, if we stay in here, Isak doesn't have food, he's gonna eat you. And if we try to the Myzarian argument is if we try to escape, they might punish us. They might try to kill us and kidnap 3 new people or 4 new people.
Well, and
He's like,
that's
I know
the narrative that he gives the minute he meets them. Like
Right.
don't screw with these guys.
And Picard acknowledges some of his argument.
We
He's
don't
like,
know what they'll do.
he's like, I acknowledge that like there's a possibility, but we don't really have an option here.
I'm not going to just sit here.
I'm not going to sit here wait for Chalna to eat me, So I got to, or you first, and then like after he eats the Myzarian, he's moving on to Picard. Let's get real. So it's
I might go for the girl first. She's pretty
go for the
annoying.
girl first.
Anyways, yeah. So now that he says, "Oh, I can shatter this panel."
Yes, not very sturdy. So he smashes it and pulls it out, and
the girl here, she uses some like random lingo. Yeah, there's always one of the parts of TNG that bothers me is when they need science stuff to happen, they just spout words.
It's called technobabble.
Yeah,
and I actually think in this era they did much better job with it. With the technobabble we get now in some of the new tracks is nonsense.
That's fair. I haven't watched new tracks,
but like, and it's all nonsense. But like, I think like this techno, it just always sounded more credible to me. Maybe because of the age I was when I saw it. Anyway, so
she says she can like cross route something.
They're gonna try to hack this thing, get in there. And the Myzarian guy the whole time is like, this is a mistake, and then the door seems to kind of partially open, but before they know it, they got zapped. The green zap of
somebody
pain.
shone a green light on them and they really hated it.
Yeah.
I think the acting in this part is not amazing. They just kind of like slow. They don't even like fall to the ground. They like
slowly collapse.
They slowly go to the ground.
Well, we're not. Yeah,
we don't know how this works though. This could be like just it seizes all your muscles and
that's true.
Yeah,
creates a lot of pain.
It's not pleasant, I guess.
I do like that screenshot though. Go back. It looks like Picard's doing like a moonwalk.
Look like they're doing a weird dance.
Yeah,
they're at like a crump.
And he says,
Isak is like, yeah.
He's like, oh, I warned you.
Right. So they're all down. And then Myzarian man is like, see, I told you.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Why wouldn't anybody just punch him at that point?
Well,
they couldn't. They were in pain.
Picard wants to.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Okay, now we get to the scene you were all complaining about at the beginning of the podcast. This is the dinner scene with Picard and Crusher.
It just doesn't add anything.
I don't understand.
How about the fashion? How about these civilian clothes that they're wearing here? This shirt.
Picard's in the same robe shirt he always has.
Picard's sense of fashion has always been weird to me. It's like he looks like he belongs in like
France,
like the time of Jesus.
It's like
the rags.
He's Space Jesus, damn it.
He's Space Jesus. That's Cisco.
That's Cisco, actually. Yeah. No, I think they're fine.
I think that the dress looks nice though.
I think you can put Gates McFadden in almost anything, and she looks great.
So. Yeah, and so this weird romance flirt that's going on here at dinner, and she's like, "You're full of surprises, Jean-Luc." And then he's like, "Well, maybe we should give it a shot, us dating." But she's like, "I don't know if I'm ready for that. I kind of like where our relationship is at."
What if I was no longer your direct superior?
What if? And she's like, even then, Wesley never comes up in this conversation at all.
That's true, yeah.
But I guess he's about to go out to Starfleet Academy in all reality here. So then Picard starts playing
this episode.
Huh?
Is he?
Oh, he's briefly.
He's in it here and there, but he's mostly just making looks and stuff.
Yeah, he's mainly just doing like the warp drive stuff and
yeah. Anyway, Picard plays the music. He asks the doctor to dance. They start slow dancing around. We even get a smooch here. But she, then she's like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And then he's
like, I think you should leave.
And then he abruptly says, okay, fine, go.
Leave.
It's just like
he's like, I'm not going back to HR to do another one of those.
Seemingly giving her what she asked for. But, I think she was like, well, I was playing hard to get. Don't you know this game?
This is the 24th century, 23rd century?
24th.
24th, yeah. So this is the 24th century. Like, he knows the women are in charge now.
I guess so. So then he's like, good night. See ya. But it's also like the smirk on Patrick Stewart's face as he plays this. She's like, if I didn't know better, I'd say you're playing a game with me. He's like, no way I would ever play games with you.
I'm not playing a game with you. Bye.
Bye. Night. And she's just
She's
left.
like, "What an ass! I even bought prophylactics."
yeah.
Anyway, cut back to
the prison cell. They're all recovering from the pain. They're all on their feet again, and the Miserian guy's complaining about nothing you do makes any sense, Picard. Nothing you do works. And I love these
He's
things.
done one thing.
This is one of my favorite lines is from Isak, where he's like, "The sound of your voice is beginning to anger me," or something. And
Isak really is the star of the show.
yeah, this scene is kind of the scene where how do we know who everyone says who they say they are, right? Like, how do I know how do I know you're really a bully, and how do I know he's really Miserian? Any of this,
And there could be an impostor among us,
right? And eventually it gets turned on to Picard, or even on. And Isak was the last to arrive. Why couldn't it could be him?
Yeah.
So there's all this doubt, and no one can
Every
prove
time I
it.
see Isak,
Kirk has
he's
been
always got those
commanding
buzzy
everyone.
eyes.
So who's to say that he isn't? I believe what they say is, who's to say that he isn't the one commanding things because he wants to be in control, because he's the
He's like, "You've been flying orders since you got here, Picard," and that's kind of what Picard's natural. But then, as they're attacking Picard, the cadet, she says, "Well, no, you can't say that about Captain Picard." She mentions the Mintalkin episode from Who Watches the Watchers, that episode, the first contact, and she
which is kind of a problem.
and then that kind of, he's like, "Well, you shouldn't know about that, right?" So he tests her, and he's like, "And what about that mission?"
Which should not be known. We'll get into this later.
And then, so at this point, Picard knows she's the mole, right?
Never had any reasoning or point other behind it.
Stargazer Fish saying, "The fake Picard's behavior always puzzled me. Never had any reasoning or point behind it other than just be weird."
That was kind of the point, though, is that he wanted it to be off-putting because he wanted to see the
Right.
limits
Because-
of.
That's
what
the whole
people
idea of
think.
the story, is that it's not Picard, and he's acting just normal enough that they can't really say anything, but just weird enough that we know something's different.
But that's the whole
But-
point.
but
He wants to test. To
But
see
he's
if they're
testing them. He
meeting
wants
it.
them to be uncomfortable. He's not really just trying to infiltrate and then live Picard's life.
Yeah.
That's not really what he's after.
The experiment is, why do people just subserviently give their will to authority based on basically just titles?
And what's their brain?
They're fascinated by that. They're like,
Yeah.
why?
Right.
Why
Are
would
we
you do
asking
that?
Americans right now?
Right. Right. And it's a great, that's what's great about Star Trek, is like, you can take an episode like this, which is a silly episode where like an alien impersonates the captain, and you can ask yourself all sorts of different questions
that are realistic. Yeah.
Yeah. And in this, it's like, like, what, just because someone's the president of the United States or whatever country, or a CEO of a company.
And actually, yeah, that's the reason. Sorry, Jeff, but that's the reason why I think Jeff and I probably both don't like that scene with Beverly, because Beverly knows him more intimately than anybody.
Well,
She's gonna pick up on him being completely weird, and she's gonna instantly, bring out the old tricorder, have a look.
I don't really understand what it is about authority that they're studying in terms of how it relates to romance. I guess that the power dynamics or inequality there, perhaps, but it seems like they're also just messing around. That part of the
it's just
Anyways,
relational.
The bar with
Eamon's like, "Can we move on to the next
Sorry,
scene?"
I'm not
It's
meaning
even
to
worse than
rush
you, Dave.
anything. Or
I know. I'm like, can we? Yeah. Anyway,
It's
but Riker and Troy are talking in 10 forward, about how Picard seems off.
Yeah.
They both notice, and then he walks into 10 forward.
he has this weird wave that
Yeah, which definitely something he would never do. He would come in and wave at the whole room.
you say we got from weird Picard to Trump's America, but I think that's exactly what Jeff was attempting to say, is that what's so beautiful about Star Trek is that it applies to a lot of real life scenarios. You can apply it to a lot of real life.
Yeah. So yeah, Picard comes here. He's acting all chummy. He says, "Great job, Jody. You got the engines up to
96%.
96%. That's even 1 more percent than I asked for."
Pats him on the back.
Pats him on the back. And then he said, "Can I count on you when we get to that pulsar?"
And he's like, yes.
Sure. Like, are we gonna fight it? Like, it's just a star. But
even
whatever.
Worf in this scene is catching on, but yet doesn't do anything.
Well, Worf's very loyal.
That's the whole point.
The previous episode was Sins of the Father, where Picard like came to bat for Worf. So even Worf in particular should have even more like loyalty to Picard in this moment compared to the others.
Yeah. And then he orders this round of ale.
He's like, the finest crew in Starfleet, ales for everyone.
Which, as we established, doesn't really do anything. It's not like you're getting him free.
Well, it's like you get.
You're thinking of them.
They just didn't have to order.
Like if he went, like, say they didn't catch on at a certain point, and then he just went at a certain point, he's like, I'm initiating self-destruct mode and nobody can do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like
he needs Riker for that.
Well, yes, but you know what I'm trying to say, or he convinced Riker or whatever, and just people would just go along with it because people accept authority.
They could also like replace Riker, right? And then they're both acting weird, right? And that that would have been kind of interesting, like that the first officer and the captain are crazy. Maybe that would have been a different version of the story. So then Picard's like, oh, I remember my Academy days. Now, Jody, you've been watching Starfleet Academy with us. Are we gonna get song? Are we gonna get them singing songs after they have a toast from now on?
The way it's going, absolutely. I predict a sing along within the next 2 episodes.
Jeff's already labeled it Star Trek Glee, but anyway.
Well, no, I don't think it's Glee, but
it's going that way.
It's 90210.
Jet Reno's got a Jane Lynch vibe to her, but
so we have this little sing along.
A little sing along. Picard is singing.
I think that he just wanted to sing.
Back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song. I wonder if I can.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. That's right there. Oh yes.
And cheer up, my lads, 'tis to glory we steer, to find something new in this wonderful year. To honor we call
everyone
you
knows
three
it, so make it sound.
for who are so free as the sons of the waves. Are the boat on our ships, jolly tars are our men. We always are ready, steady boys, steady. We'll fight and we'll conquer again and again. Come cheer up, my lads.
So great little song. Riker.
Please don't sue.
Riker's face palming. And he's like, that's not the captain I know. Geordi's like, what the hell's going on? Like, this isn't right. We need a meeting. We need an emergency injunction. 25th Amendment. Let's go. Will we get?
And that is how we got from Weird Picard to President Trump.
Anyway, so then in Riker's quarters, he's having a little drink with the
everyone. Yes.
Everyone but Wesley, basically, and Picard.
Yeah, they're like, fuck Wesley.
Yeah, he's not invited to this meeting. This is
all he's gonna do is release nanoprobes and date some girl.
So he's like, hey, we all love Picard, but come on,
what's going on?
What's going on? Why are we? Troy's like, he was kind of weird with me after the poker game, and then Beverly talks about their date.
Yes.
And he must know that I don't like ales.
My favorite part of this episode is right here when Crusher is explaining this date, and Riker turns his head at one point right here where he's just like, "Oh my god, I don't even want to hear about this." Like he he turns his head and he immediately turns to cut like he moves the conversation.
I can often not take Riker seriously because Jonathan Frakes' acting has always been so funny to me. He's got that face he makes.
He's got a
he's very expressive
face.
Yes. She's like, it was a very interesting evening, and he's like, damn it.
See, right here. He's like, I don't want to hear about it.
If my girl can't get laid, what is the point?
He's drawing pictures in his head, I think, about how the evening went.
He's like, which one's on top? Do you think?
All these things, and he's
probably
like, no, I need to focus here. Anyway,
they kind of say, are you going to attempt to mutiny him? Do you have the evidence to go forward?
Right, Worf in particular is like, we can't be mutiny here. He's like the most defending of Picard, and he's like, hey, listen, I'm just putting us all on alert. Like this is
and
what's Data doing there? Data's just looking pretty. Like, what is he doing?
If anyone should have picked up on this already, it would be Data.
Data has nothing to contribute to this conversation at all. Data really
literally says
anything.
nothing most of the episode.
Then we come back to real Picard in the prison cell. He's dealing with the three others and trying to, who's the imposter, who's not who they say they are. he already knows it's the bully, but this kind of goes on a little longer as he tries to work the panel. Then we come back to fake Picard, who's now at the pulsar and saying like, get us closer. I think within he's like, we're 20 million kilometers away, make us 10 million kilometers. And Data's like,
this is when Riker puts his foot down.
And Data's like, that's
going to destroy our shield.
There's too much radiation. We're not going to survive like more than a couple minutes there. And he's like, do it. And then Riker's like, can I talk to you in private? And everyone's getting a little tense.
Oh, there's
here.
Wesley.
Yeah.
Wesley. Yeah, he's just looking nervous. But then I really like the scene in the ready room between, especially
how they framed
the
it.
scene is. I love the scene, the way it's filmed.
Yeah, the way they framed it. Yeah, just
the way
like
they framed it.
close up on Riker's face, close up on Picard's face. So like, if you don't stop this, I'm relieving you of command. And he's like, on what basis? What evidence?
And this is probably one of the first times
Back up and don't forget this happened. But don't do it again.
Riker really questions him. We've seen it before, but this one's really bad. This threatening his command, basically.
Well, but then I think the fact that the way that Picard responds to this is very indicative that it's not Picard. I think.
Yes. Absolutely.
He's like, yeah, you can try that, but you better watch out because I'm your superior officer, and that could be a
Doesn't he
court-martial
threaten him with a
offense.
court-martial?
Yeah. He's like, how about you go to sick bay, and
I'll drop this.
Yeah, and I'll drop this. How about that? And so Riker's feeling a little checkmate, maybe, but not really, because he's already got the senior officers on his side. We'll find out later that Riker saw the mutiny on the Pegasus. He knows he got to get people involved early.
Riker knows how to take over a ship.
Yeah, he saw it done once. Anyway, then back. So they're still trying to hack the door.
They take this knife. I guess this was the knife that the guy had earlier, and it looks really silly to me. It's got like these serrations on it. They're like
looks like it's for cutting loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's meant to look alien. And
anyways, they open the door and there's nothing behind.
There's just another door behind it, or like a wall,
a flat plane.
Yeah, so they can't even get out. And then Myzarian's getting mad.
He's like, "I told you, I told you."
Picard keeps making eyes at the bullying lady. Come back to fake Picard, who's now closer to the pulsar. And then when he gives like this final order to get even closer, that will kill them in minutes. That's when Riker's like, "Okay, nope. Belay that order. We are turning around. I'm relieving you of command." And so Picard tries to get Worf to.
Worf is so funny in the scene. He's like a sad puppy dog. He's just like
he's like who's got to order who? Picard wants Worf to arrest Riker. Riker wants Worf to arrest Picard, and so it's but Worf seems to be backing up Riker. He's and so Picard is being deposed here. He's mad about it. You see him clenching the fist, and
I think there's a mistake here that I feel like there would be a loyal person to Picard, and that would maybe he's honest. Maybe he knows something we don't know. I feel like again this episode kind of is missing an opportunity to really delve into like what sycophantic behavior is toward an authority. They don't really show it in this episode because they basically say this wouldn't happen. People wouldn't do this. It's like, yeah, they would. People would follow the leader. We've seen it in history.
It happens. Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen it in cults. People drank all that Kool-Aid.
In recent history, Jeff? In recent?
No, that hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy a red hat now.
Anyway. For Picard, it's a Picard hat.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Picard.
Yeah.
Picard is taken out here. Riker's like, okay, we're taking the ship away from the star. Then back in the prison cell, real Picard
kind of deduces everything.
He's the Mr. Detective Dixon Hill himself. Is said, "I've had enough of this charade. Haven't you?" And then he directly confronts the cadet.
She's like, what?
He's like, "You know what I'm talking about." And she's like, "No."
And then he kind of deduces anyway, so he kind of goes around discussing what the reason is for the Union, which is the way that they view authority, I believe.
Right. Well, Picard is the commander, trained to command and lead. You got the Myzarian, who is Mr. Structure and order, and then you got the Chalna, the anarchist, right? and then the cadet who's meant to obey his commands and do whatever he wants, and and be on his side. But he's like, there's no way that a cadet would know about that mission you mentioned, and then I tested you and I asked you about something else, and that's classified. You don't know any of that. Who are you? I'm done with this. And then she transforms
into like 3 people.
Yes, who I believe are played by identical twins. These aliens.
They have the same last name. I saw that.
Yeah,
identical triplets.
Maybe even triplets. Yeah. So that woman, she splits into 3 individuals, and then it said, "Oh well, we replaced you with copycat, or like with copies." And Chalna, Mr. Isak, he's not happy about this at all. He's like, a duplicate. I would have loved to have seen what happened to the 2 of them when they went back to their planets, like and everything else.
I would like to see like what did these guys do in the other people's planets and impersonating them?
What were they doing on the Chalna planet? That's the one I really want to know. What? Because
I want to know more information about the suits they're wearing.
He was just being a really nice Chalna. He's like, I think we should have a government. How does that sound?
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet on their planet Disco is not dead.
Anyway, so he basically takes everyone back to their home, or their where they're supposed to be.
The Miserian guy was probably like, "Hey, let's start some wars. What do you think?"
He's like, "I think we should resist the next invader, whatever it is." Anyway,
let's build a wall.
Let's build a wall. So Picard returns to the Enterprise, directly confronts Figure.
Oh, they're Picard. I always love this effect, by the way, when you have the same actor standing with themselves.
It's easier in today's special effects. Back then, it took a little more effort. Anyway, but
they point the phasers at them.
Yeah, and then we got the 2 Picards looking each other down, and then we see fake Picard turns into
the
alien, and now they got 2 of them, standing in front of them. How could but Picard is giving signals to Riker and the rest of the crew that he wants to imprison them while he talks to them, like, why would you do the experiment and why would you do all this? And
we didn't assault you. And he says imprisonment is its own assault.
This look on Riker back.
Riker's just like, I told you so.
This is what I mean by Jonathan Frakes.
He's just so pleased with himself that he was right.
Well, if you're a Riker, you'd be pleased too.
I would.
Apparently, he was cast. Majel Barrett really pushed for him in particular because he's so much according to them, like Gene Roddenberry. They have the same birthday, and they're I guess that this idea of being kind of mischievous, being sort of a charmer and whatever else is something, at least how Gene thought of himself, and Riker is kind of an embodiment of the way he saw himself, at least on some level. Anyway. But yeah, playful. Anyway, so yeah, they got that little scheme here. Data does one thing useful. He's in on the plot. He's like, oh, I know eye signals. Okay, let's create a little force field, and then Worf gets involved, and he's doing his thing, and then
he says, "Worf, do it." Basically,
and he's like, "And hit it." Boom.
Gene OMG is
literally me. I'm just as tall and handsome as.
I'm willing to put money on it that Jonathan Frakes is a much better person than Gene Roddenberry was.
I would probably agree with you. Gene Roddenberry was also very eccentric and kind of eager, he was a creep. Interesting guy. Let's say that much about him. But when a young Jonathan Frakes wanted to get the job, he's like, yeah, I'm just like you. Yeah, for sure.
He's like, spitting image.
Oh yeah,
I thought I was looking in a mirror.
I think reincarnation, and you're not even died yet. So anyway, So once the aliens are in the captivity, they don't like it because they can't stand it or whatever. And he's like, we weren't hurting you. We were being really nice. We gave you red Jello and all kinds of things. We never saw a toilet, so I don't know how that went.
In the corner.
It was in the corner. It was a piss bucket in the corner. It's fairly easy to be a better person than good old Gene.
Well, that's true.
He still gets venerated by a lot of Star Trek fans, but anyway, so Picard releases it. He's like, my little experiment's over. He's like, now let's, maybe you'll remember that next time you mess with people. He's, imprisonments and
how does it feel, basically?
How's it feel? And now we know about your race, and we know how to imprison your race.
Them, yes.
So
these guys' prosthetics are fantastic, by the way.
Oh yeah, and we never see them again. So
never.
I guess they
spent
took
all this time on these and never got to see them again.
Picard's warning, I guess, was well taken. And then he leaves, and then everyone's like, okay, let's go meet up with the Hood, the original mission. And then Riker's like, well, he was a pretty convincing doppelganger, but not quite like you. He's like,
You
yeah,
sang better.
yeah, I have a hard time to believe you're that good of a singer.
Oh, you just hear
Singer.
your reporter.
I'll read your report, number one. Oh, yeah. You know, and then here comes Dr. Crusher, who she was at that meeting. Like, you know, she thought, but I guess she's not thinking about any of this. And she's like, hello, Jean.
Oh, wait, go back to Riker. You know, he's thinking again. You know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, you were about to have sex with that alien Picard.
She's like,
about that.
That would have been
You
great.
you didn't even know.
yeah. You didn't even see what he looked like when he turned not into
I would have
Picard
tagged in for you.
anymore.
That's what he would have said.
Don't forget, like Picard.
What is
Riker-
this? What is this look? Why is she pleased to see this new Picard when she was having dinner with the fake Picard? What is she happy about? I don't get it. This end of this episode really weirds me out.
I think
know?
we're supposed to believe that she thinks that she
The
has seen
other-
a side of him that he doesn't show. and
Yeah.
Does she
you
even
she's
know
amused
about
by
all?
it.
Yeah. Like,
It's not a great ending. I got to
Yeah.
tell you.
this is the end of the episode.
Because
right?
I think because she's part of that scene earlier. No, if she hadn't been, then maybe this would work a little better for me. But that she's like, oh, are we in a relationship now, Jean-Luc? Maybe we are going to be a couple. And he's like, okay, engage. Not to mention,
Yes.
I got a comment.
Yeah.
Doctor, I don't know what the
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta click on here. All right. Well, that's the end of the episode. So, does anyone got trivia? Double
Yeah, I'll do it.
F.
I figured that the sexiness wasn't here today, so I had to replace it.
All right.
So
Well,
I guess I'll replace it.
okay. If you're up, Jody.
I'm up then. All right. The Offspring from 1990 and Allegiance with the minimal sets were written as part of a balance to the series budget after the spending on Yesterday's Enterprise. So I guess that one went a little
Yesterday's
hot.
Enterprise? Is that the TOS
That's-
episode?
No,
Yeah,
yesterday's Enterprise.
Yeah.
No, it's episode 15 of this season. It's a really good one.
Okay.
Considered to be one of the best
It's
ever.
Yar. It's when Tasha Yar comes back.
Yeah, it's kind of this alternate timeline where the Enterprise C gets removed because this is the Enterprise D, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so the Enterprise C is like the 20-year-old ship, and it comes into the future by mistake, and it changes the timeline. It's a great episode. I really
Alright.
recommend.
It is a good episode.
But so they had to cut back after this episode?
Well, that
Yeah,
episode was so
because they spent
expensive
too
to
much
make.
money.
That and this one they had to
So
that
the-
makes sense.
The,
This
the
entire
two
episode,
after they didn't
yeah.
spend as much money on.
Yeah.
So what's the guy's name?
Esok.
Esok. Esok's outfit is modified and later becomes Morn's costume on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
I thought there was something familiar there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Captain Picard's quarters are seen for the first time to be on Deck 9, room 3601. So there you go.
I the amount of makeup and costumes in this episode they looked expensive.
I guess.
Well, I think when you already have the makeup and you already have the prosthetic machines and all that.
But these are
it's-
all new makeups. This is all like
that they're not going to use again.
like
Well, I think they mean more the sets. There's not really any new sets.
I think
right? Like,
sets
there's one
are
little
like they
basic-
cost more
Jody,
than
that
makeup.
hoodie looked impressive.
It did. The inspiration for Allegiance appears to have been from Rod Sterling's teleplay, 5 Characters in Search of an Exit from 1961, which is a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, I was like Rod Sterling.
Yeah. So there
That
you go.
definitely makes sense how this would be like a Twilight Zone episode.
So this is the first of 2 episodes in a row, along with Star Trek The Next Generation's Captain's Holiday, which Picard spends most of his episode not on the ship. So there you go. And this does take place in
Captain's Holiday is the next episode. Yeah.
It is the next episode. You're right. So past that, what else do we got here? The song in which Picard's replica leads the crew is Heart of Oak, a traditional British song, is an official march of the Royal Navy, the Royal Canadian Navy, and the Royal New Zealand Navy.
See, there's nothing French about this guy. He's singing Commonwealth songs.
That's a Canadian song or a British song that is
No, it's a song that they traditionally march to for the Royal Navy, which is the British Navy, the Royal Canadian Navy, which is obviously the Canadian, and the Royal New Zealand Navy.
But not the Australians. They're
not the Australians. They have their own.
Screw
It's
this
probably
song.
something to do
They don't
with
get to
beer and stuff.
Yeah.
Its original lyrics are as follows: "Come cheer up, my lads, 'tis the glory we steer to add something more to this wonderful year. To honor we call you as free men, not slaves, for who are so free as the sons of the waves."
Wow.
And then the chorus goes, "Heart of Oaks are our ships, heart of oaks are our men. We already are ready, steady boys, steady. We'll fight until we'll conquer again and again." This song was written in 1760 by David Garrick. Garrick.
David too.
You got the name.
That makes sense, I think, for this show too, because Star Trek has always taken a very naval feeling in terms of its.
Oh, they're on a ship.
Yeah, they're on a ship, and they have naval rankings and stuff like that. So I think it makes sense that they chose a Navy song for this.
And it notes that LeVar Burton deliberately flubs the line, "To honor we call you as free men, not blah," as he played Kunta Kinte in Roots Part 1 from 1977. So
what's the reference? What's the
he
connection
refused
to
to say
Roots?
slave
Okay.
because he played one in the miniseries Roots.
I see.
Anyway, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Jody. That
We
was
should probably go to ratings. I'm thinking.
Yeah, a couple comments here while you were off that.
Oh.
One saying that like the Chalna makeup is probably a reuse of the Nausicaan makeup, or I guess
could be.
We haven't seen the Nausicans yet, right? So I guess they'll reuse it for that.
They'll reuse it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm as French as a baguette, I swear. Or a baguette.
The card means French and name only in French. Is that what it means?
No, I don't think so.
France was conquered and culture destroyed in World
War III.
War III, and that's why he's British now.
Yeah.
Great Britain, of course.
Great Britain, of course.
All right. Well, we're at that point in the episode where it's time to score it and rate it. Let's go to ratings. All right. I'll go last. Jeff, what's your rating for this episode?
It's like a 7.5. Like it's a solid episode, but it could have been a great episode had they just like maybe
If it was
tweaked it.
it would have been better.
Yeah, they could have tweaked it. They could have they never should have told us that it was fake Picard at the beginning. They should have made it ambiguous, and then it would have made the mystery a lot more interesting.
Hard to tell the two stories if you don't know one of them's.
Well, that's why I think it should have been 2 episodes.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, 7.5 from Jeff. Eamon?
I will go with a 7.1.
Okay.
It's just it's a good episode. It's just, to me, it was standard. There was nothing special about it. It was good. And that's kind of where I would leave it.
All right. Jody?
Jeff is reading my mind. I was thinking 7.5 myself. So
Half.
Jeff and I, we've been syncing lately.
Yeah,
I've noticed. We're on the same wavelength.
You know, I'm a bit of a homer for these these TNG episodes. Maybe I like them more than I should.
Well, I can't tell by your ratings being generally above 9 or higher for the last 10 episodes.
Yeah.
He has a 10.1 on here, I'd like to point out.
Yeah, well, it was that good.
10.1. Well, it is yesterday's Enterprise.
I'm going 9 for this. I loved it. So we are averaging 7.8. This has a 7.4 on IMDb.
So we're slightly above.
We're slightly above that with almost 4,000 votes. So that calls out for that one. Anyway, so a bit of a dip here. Mostly, I blame you three.
Oh,
because
okay.
Wow,
look at this streak we've been on.
Everything's been 9.
It's a great one. It's great.
it's not a 9.
It's awesome. I loved it. I love the.
So
Chalna.
you think this is the exact same goodness as Higher Ground?
The High Ground.
Yeah, you rated that a 9 as well.
I like that one too. Yeah.
And you think they're equal?
It's not even about equal. It's about the same level of
It
enjoyment.
literally
And by the way,
is.
giving Sins of the Father a 9.7,
Hey,
that is
hey,
ridiculous.
We're just rating level of enjoyment.
I guess so.
Is that what we're doing?
How do you base your rating?
Well, whether or not it's good or not.
Right, that's enjoyment, isn't it?
No, you can
One's more
enjoy a bad
subjective.
episode.
I enjoy a Fast and Furious movie. I think
Me
it's a
too.
dog crap.
I love them.
I think it's a dog crap. Like I would give it a 6.
I decided a
You know
long
what I
time
mean?
ago, if I
I'll still
enjoy
watch
watching
it.
the episode, that's how much enjoyment I get out of the episode is the number I'm giving. So that's how I go. That's how I roll. I don't.
Can we get an average rating of people who do ratings correctly versus you? Can you fit that on the spreadsheet?
I think it's 3 to 1.
Listen,
3 to 1.
like if we look at like the my overall average, yes, I'm higher than you guys. Like Jeff's
Absolutely.
you're averaging a 6.3, Jeff.
Oh,
Yeah.
the humanity.
The humanity.
It
Jody
depends
is
on the episode. Like if the episode is good, then I'll
It
give
also
a-
depends what episode you're here for.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
so,
we're a lot closer than I thought we were, Jeff.
but Jody's got a lot more ratings than Jeff. Jeff only has like a handful. One of them's a 3.5 at the Big Goodbye.
One's a 2.
So
The Big Goodbye did deserve.
There were
a
some bad
1.5.
episodes in those
A
three,
3.5 though. I gave it a 5 to be
There's
nice.
some great ones too.
Anyway,
The
so
first
that-
Q episode is amazing.
Yeah. And look, I don't know. I've been really enjoying this season so far. So anyway, we are looking ahead to our next episode, which I forgot to make a title card for.
Captain's Vacation.
It's Captain's Holiday.
Captain's Holiday.
And we'll be on next Monday to talk about that.
Set course for intercourse.
All right, we're going to Ryza, the first Ryza episode ever. The vacation planet.
And we get, in my opinion, one of the best female characters ever in Star Trek.
Yeah, Vash. Captain
I love
Picard is
Vash.
talked into taking shore leave on Ryza, where he's swept into an archaeological mystery, a flirtatious partnership, and a chase involving a very determined Ferengi. We also get Max Grodenchek, who obviously played Rom as well on Deep Space Nine in that episode. I really love that. I love everything about the whole Ryzian sort of like mythos and everything too. So I'm looking
And
forward
this
to
is the first time we fully see Ryza, though, isn't it?
It's the only time. It's the first time it's introduced at all. Like in
No,
Star
because
Trek.
they mentioned it before.
Well, it's in Enterprise, but like that which takes place before. But
No, but I mean, even Riker mentioned Ryza a couple episodes ago.
I don't remember that, but
Anyway.
if he did anyway, but they will be referenced again. So anyway, check it out next week. I know Heather and I think who signed up for this? Heather, Jody, Justin next week. So look
Am
forward
I
to
on
that.
this one? Oh, sweet.
Supposedly,
I'm glad.
yes.
I even have a
So-
background for that.
Great. Anyway, we'll be back next time here on Live Long and Podcast to talk about that. Also, check out on Thursdays. We're covering new episodes of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. We are on this Thursday.
Begrudgingly.
I won't be here because I'm going to be on another podcast, but Chris Murphy will be hosting for Vox in Excelso, the 4th episode of season 1. Look out for that, featuring Rob Ricardo here. on the
So,
title
do you
card.
think that they're just Kurtzman's running out of names, so he just has to like throw out the old Greek dictionary and just try to?
with Latin? But yeah, it's
Well, Latin, I mean, yeah, sorry.
yeah, I don't know, like the Kurtzman regime, they love these Latin names and these
Like
long,
every
complicated-
second episode has a Latin name to it.
Like there was an episode of Discovery called "The Butcher Cries Not for the Lamb's like something crazy,
Not
like
for the
just-
lamb slaughter or something.
like these long, and then they'll do like these weird like Latin names and everything.
yeah,
So,
but
like,
you know what? The original Star Trek did that too.
they do it way more. Anyway,
They do it way more.
because they only do 10 episodes a season, and it's like the 3 of them will be in Latin. Anyway, look out for that on Thursday. I'll be on. Hey, did you see this one? Our another channel in the United Federation of Podcasts talk about Face Off. Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
Face.
Face Off.
That was a good movie.
Anyway.
I like that movie.
Check
I
out the
could
other.
eat a peach for hours, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I could eat a peach for hours.
If that doesn't screw you up, I don't know what will.
All right, and definitely will. Okay, and I think those are all the plugs I have tonight. What do we leave you with here? There's 3 quotes I never played, so I'm going to play them in succession. We'll see you here next time on Live Long and Podcast. Thanks to the whole panel, and have a great night and stay safe out there.
You're a very attractive woman.
And you're a very attractive man.
An ale for me and for my officers. In fact, ales for everyone. Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet.
See you next time.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.